Today we're talking about universities in the United States. But wait. Before we start, let's clarify something. In the US, we call university college. So in this video, I'm going to use the words university, college, and school to mean the same thing. Okay? Let's begin. There are three main types: community college, public university, and private university. Community colleges are different because you don't live on campus and they're cheaper. The average community college tuition per year is $3,660 US. You might be thinking, that's a lot. Oh, just wait. Public universities' tuition averages $10,230 per year. And if you go to a public university in a different state, you pay more. I don't know if there's a reason. I think they just want our money. I don't know. That's $26,290. And finally, private universities. The average yearly tuition is $35,830 US. But these costs don't include housing and the meal plan. Housing, or the dorms, and the meal plan on average add $11,000 more per year. This means the total average price at a private university per year is $48,510. For 4 years, that's $194,000. Okay, I'm sweating. Just thinking about that. But that's just the average. They can cost more. Columbia College in total for tuition, meal plan, dorms, and books costs $80,339 per year. I'm freaking out. I genuinely didn't know that it was this expensive. Freaking out. That means I'm panicking and feeling extreme emotions. There is financial aid and scholarships, so not everyone pays the full price. Tell me how much universities cost where you live, because I'm super curious to compare. Now, community colleges are a better option financially, but they don't give you the university experience. The question is it worth it? For a lot of us in the United States, independence starts at age 18. We go to college right after we graduate high school. A 2014 study showed that 28% of students go to college in a different state, and 58% of students go to college within 100 miles of their hometown. My university was a 3-hour drive from my house, and that's pretty normal. In your first year, you live in a dorm on campus, and you have to share a very small room with a stranger. You live on a hall with other students, so you can make friends, and each hall has an RA, resident assistant, who is an older student, and they're the mentor of the hall. You can live in a dorm again after your first year, but most people choose to live in an apartment or house off campus. That's what I did. For food, every campus has at least one dining hall. Some schools have all-you-can-eat buffets. And in English, we have a phrase, the freshman 15, which means in your first year, your freshman year in college, you'll gain 15 pounds. When I ate on campus, my diet was mainly sushi, sandwiches, burritos, beans and rice, salads, burgers, smoothies. And for snacks, I had fruit, hard-boiled eggs, trail mix every day, and these little breads like apple bread, banana bread that they always had. Extracurriculars. To me, this is the best part about college because you have access to hundreds of groups and clubs. I was in a lot of different groups, like a leadership group, an improv group, an a cappella group where you sing, and there were big a cappella competitions every year on campus too. And there are concerts on campus, yoga classes, they have everything. Let's get to the interesting part. What are the parties like? So, the legal drinking age in the US is 21. However, that doesn't mean people follow that. Party culture is pretty big. Because it's your first experience away from your home and from family, so a lot of people are like, what? But not everyone drinks or parties. It really is a personal choice. A 2018 survey said that 55% of college students aged 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. Parties happen off campus every weekend. A very common game at parties is called beer pong. So you have a ping pong table with red solo cups of beer, and then you throw the ping pong ball, and if it lands in the cup, someone on the other side has to drink the beer. Another thing that happens at parties sometimes is called a keg stand. This is weird. So you have a keg, which is a giant thing of beer. Someone is held upside down with their legs in the air, and they drink the alcohol, and everyone goes, yeah! One time my friends had a keg in their dorm room and they got caught. So at my university, if you got caught with alcohol, you had to take a class and pay some money. But college isn't just one big party. Academics are really important. The typical degree you get in college is a bachelor's degree. This is 4 years long and about 40 classes total. You have to take some general education classes like history, art, science, so you have a diverse education. But you have a choice. So for your science class, you can take astronomy. You also have to take the required classes for your chosen subject. The subject you study is called your major. You can say, I majored in math. Some people get or receive a minor, which is usually around 6 required classes in a different subject. The interesting part is you don't have to choose your major immediately. So you don't have to know what you want to study when you go to college. You have some time to decide. Okay, let's talk about grades, or notas. Every grade is from 0 to 100, and each number has a letter grade. So 93 to 100 is an A, and then B, C, D, and F. Where's the E? There's no E. So you get or receive a final letter grade for every class, and then the average of those letter grades becomes your GPA, grade point average, which is on a scale from 0 to 4. Oh my God, this is complicated, right? An A is a 4.0. So if you make all A's in college, you get a 4.0 GPA, which is perfect. So for a lot of schools, if your GPA is less than 2.0, they make you leave. They're like, bye, you've been doing too many keg stands. We saw your pictures on Facebook, Samantha. Sports are a big thing at universities, and football is the most popular. I personally went to a lot of football games because I wanted to, I don't know, have the college experience, and I hated it. I think football is so boring. It's the worst sport, and I don't know why everyone here likes it. It's just like running and balls. Okay, that's every sport. The transition after college is very weird because you go from being surrounded by people your own age in community to being in the real world as an adult. Some people move to a new city or state, but a lot of people move back to their hometown. In 2016, 28% of college graduates moved back to their parents' house. But there is a stigma with living with your parents, especially for people in their mid or late 20s. I like that our culture values independence, but I don't like that there's judgment and shame just because someone didn't follow the expected path or journey in life. Especially because at that age, you're still very young and there's this pressure to have your life figured out and to have independence. And life doesn't always work like that. There's also stigma in the US associated with community colleges, where it's seen as inferior. Hopefully this changes because community colleges are a great option financially and it's still quality education. But I see this elitist, competitive mentality in our culture sometimes, where people judge you based off of where you went to school. Like if it's hard to get into, to get accepted into. I've had a few people judge me for where I went to college and say, "You went there," or make jokes about it. And it's like, you're not better than me just because of where you went to school. It's this narrative that the prestige of your university determines not only your intelligence, but your worth. Not everyone thinks like that, but I've seen it before and I think that it's something that we should be challenging. Thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!